Hi there. Today we're talking about overthinking, something that most of us indulge in. This condition of thinking too much, thinking constantly all the time, being indecisive, trying to find exactly the right decision all the time, even about things that don't really matter. Being caught up in analysis paralysis. This is something that a lot of us fall into. It's a trap. It's a mental trap. And the consequences of this trap are rather severe depending on the severity of the situation, where we may have an idea of something that we might do, of something we might create, of a reality that we might step into. But the reality, like the on the ground reality, is that the weeks come and go, right? The months come and go. The years come and go and nothing happens. Nothing changes. We don't actually end up going anywhere. And the visions just remain visions. And it's possible, it is a real possibility and a real reality for a lot of people that you just arrive at the other side of your life. You arrive at the end of your life and not having actually taken action on anything, not actually having done the thing that you came here to do. And based on what I've heard and based on my own intuition, when we get to the end, we realize that it was our own minds that set up a sort of persuasive hypnotic framework that convinced us, not yet, not yet, not yet. It's not safe yet, not time yet. It's not correct just yet. And it puts us in this waiting pattern for a moment that never actually comes. That's the price we pay for overthinking and analysis paralysis. So we're going to get into it today, and I'm going to aim to keep this video quite short, shorter than usual. So let us dive right in. My name is Brent. I'm a coach, a healer, and over this month, I'm going to be specifically focusing on this very important issue. And I'm opening up a very select, limited coaching package that's available for you now through December and January if this is something that you struggle with and need extra help on. And so for more information on that, stay tuned. I'll talk about that a little bit later. So we'll begin with our definition. So overthinking, what it is, what happens. Overthinking is when the mind is convinced that it can make something safe by thinking about it sufficiently. This shows up in many different ways. So one way is I'm going to gather all of the information that I possibly can and then make a decision, but you just end up gathering information forever. It could also take the form of, I know what I need to do, but then the mind comes in and talks you out of it. So say you're about to launch your business, say you're about to maybe go to the gym or work out or do something that you haven't done before or in a long time. And then the mind says, maybe I don't have to. Maybe I don't need to. Maybe I'm just fine as I am. Or sometimes if there are so many things to do, you're caught up in a chaotic situation, you're behind on 20 things, 50 things, and suddenly an hour opens up where you're able to suddenly do something. You have a moment to do it, and you don't even know how to choose, and you don't even know how to prioritize. And if you commit to one thing, then your mind says, well, but you should be doing this, this, or that. And you can't even trust yourself to choose something and commit to it. So you end up doing nothing. You just tune out of it because it's just too much. These are just three examples of analysis paralysis, of the way that the mind shuts down on what was otherwise a perfectly good opportunity to take a bold new action towards the development of your potential, towards the growth of who you came here to be. I was working recently with a dude who had graduated to become a doctor. So this is a person who just in the last couple of weeks became a doctor. It's like had the certification, is a real ass doctor. And we were both just in awe of this moment of how like we're used to thinking of doctors as other kinds of people and we put them on pedestals, oftentimes, and to just be one, it's like, oh my God, there's sort of a disillusioning kind of fearful effect about it. It's like, oh my God, can I be trusted with this power? And this person was in a little bit of fear because they were being selected for a job which would involve them being the only doctor in sort of an emergency ward of a particular hospital and being afraid, like, I just don't know if I'm ready for this. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I'm appropriate for this. What if I screw it up? And it was amazing from my perspective watching this person because I'm thinking, you're a doctor. Like you went through everything. You went through your whole lifetime of education to get here and you've graduated and you've been selected. Of course you're ready. But the mind does not like to trust. And the mind prefers proof over trust, which, sounds fine on its face, but proof that never comes. It prefers to just stay in a state of distrust because that's how it feels like it's safe. And it feels like it's not ready to go for this opportunity, for opportunities that are presented to us because it's a movement into the unknown. It's a movement into a bigger, expanded experience. Despite the fact that a mind could have been training for this experience its whole life. When it comes time to get it, it turns it away. So fortunately, I was able to articulate this to this person I was working with. I was able to talk them down from the ledge and get them to actually take the opportunity. And so now things are going to get really exciting for this person. But this is just an illustration of how this kind of thing works. So what's really at stake here is opportunity. Like, if we hadn't had this one conversation, he may not have actually gone for the opportunity at all. This sort of thing happens all the time. Where does it happen in your life? Where do you not grasp opportunity? Where do you not create opportunity? Where do you not take new action that's available for you and instead just elect to allow your life to just pass by as if you have some infinite amount of time on this planet? So I have 3 solutions I'm going to offer you here that you can use and plug immediately into your life, and they are as follows. Number 1, getting out of your head. I'll talk to you about how to do it, how to build more self-trust, and then 3rd, maintaining momentum of having built that trust. So we're going to get into it in sequence. Here we go. So the first thing that we want to do in order to get out of analysis paralysis, in order to get out of overthinking, is to simply get out of our head. This is something a lot of us want to do. I've heard many people say this. I've worked with many people who complain. Their chief complaint is, I just need to get out of my head, and they don't know exactly how to do it. The way to get out of your head is to bring meta-awareness to your own mind. It's pretty simple. It goes like this. When we're in our heads, the mind is figuratively and literally something that we are inside of. And when we're inside of the mind, then we're engaged in very fast-moving, frantic style thoughts, just whipping around. It's like being on a carousel. It whips around, or like a tornado or a hurricane. And so in order to come out of our minds, we bring attention to the mind so that it goes from being the thing that we're in to being the thing that we're looking at. And so we say something like, my mind is a tornado. My mind is whipping around like a tornado. And just try this out loud. My mind is a tornado. Now, I notice my mind is like a tornado. And try this one. I notice my mind is moving incredibly fast. And then finally, it's amazing how fast my mind is moving. Now notice right now how it feels. Notice how there's like, just even now, a sense of centering, a sense of calming down, a sense of grounding in. That's because we went from being in the mind to looking at the mind. Reminding yourself that the mind is just an object inside of your experience will always allow you to come back to center and bring you out of compulsive overthought. The only trap related to this technique is that it seems too simple to be true. And that's the paradoxical nature of this kind of work. All the solutions are extremely simple. So do not overestimate the power of it. Instead, use it and develop it into your own practice. Now, the next part is to build more self-trust. And this is also easier than it seems. For those of us in analysis paralysis, we are usually unwilling to trust ourselves. We're unwilling to trust life. We're unwilling to trust our intuition. And instead, we replace the trust for a desire for more and more control. So the first thing we realize is that there's no real control. If we're going to do something new, if we're going to jump into the unknown, by definition, it's unknown. We go into it with our best maps and compasses and equipment, but truly there's no guarantee for what we're going to get out the other end. And this is something to make peace with. Now, you can also develop more trust with yourself. And the way to do this is to simply ask yourself in the spirit of honesty, what would I do if I trusted myself? And try journaling. Try opening up a blank document on your laptop and just ask, what would I do if I trusted myself completely? And what you'll get is perhaps a list of answers. Some of them are quite large, like big, large moves. And then some of them might be small. It's like, okay, maybe you might try something new. You may join a group. You may go to a different location. You may try a new restaurant. You may try cooking a new recipe. Something that just is otherwise totally innocuous, but brings you right to the edge of your comfort zone for some reason. We want to start that. And what we want to do is have you do that smaller thing to build up a relationship between your trust and you. We want to build a track record of successfully trusting yourself, acting on your intuition, and seeing what happens as a result. Because what you'll probably notice is that you are invigorated, you feel more brave, you feel sort of thrilled even by this small thing, by having done it. And it will allow you to put the blocks in place for you to do bigger things. One way that it worked for me was going to the gym, where, I have been going to the gym for a little while, but always with the sense of not really knowing what I'm doing or how to do it, even despite having downloaded certain workout plans and so forth. There's always a feeling of like, I'm wasting time, or I don't know what I'm doing. And so a little bit more recently, I decided that I trust myself, that I know what I'm doing at the gym. And even though this changed nothing about the amount of knowledge that I had about working out, what it meant is that I permitted myself to trust how it feels to become stronger. And intuitively, I know what to do to make myself stronger and more healthy. And then what that meant was that when I would take other techniques and ideas into the gym, I could actually discern between which ones worked for me and which ones didn't, as opposed to just giving all of my authority away to some instructor that was not in the room. And being able to trust that I know what I'm doing allowed me to feel more comfortable and allowed me to develop my own practice, which ultimately did start making me stronger and healthier. And then finally, solution number 3 is about maintaining momentum. And so what you want to do is you want to take this practice of getting out of your head and trusting yourself and make this into something you do regularly. Because if you try both of these things as I was describing it, you will get immediate results. Like you will immediately feel better and notice quick wins right away. And then there will be a temptation to go, oh, like that's it. Okay, it's all done. And to forget about it and put the whole thing in the rear view mirror as you go forward back into your old way of being. And so I really want to encourage you at this point to commit yourself now to creating momentum to break out of the gravity associated with overthinking and analysis paralysis, and to make these things into your practice, because it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a really complete commitment to turn this around and get this in control. One way of doing this, practically speaking, would be to create a daily ritual going into the day where you have a plan of what you're going to do. What's really useful about this, and this is something that I love giving to all the clients that I work with, is that when you make a plan for what you're going to do, in the planning phase, we're usually a little bolder than we otherwise are in the acting phase. So in the planning phase, we think, oh yeah, like really, here's really what I should do. This is what my priority is. And whatever that priority is almost always the thing that we're neglecting because we don't want to do it. So when we put it in the calendar for what we're going to do today, then it makes it clear that we need to act on this. And it sets us up so that at least we can't ignore it. At least we can't forget about it or conveniently waste our time on something else instead. So if you work with all 3 of these solutions and bring them together, then this results in what we can call sovereignty. Sovereignty meaning to have leadership over your mind, to be the boss of your mind and to not have your mind be the boss of you. None of this is a solution that will turn everything around overnight, but what it does signal is the beginning of a new chapter in your life of your relationship with your mind, where you are now practicing being the one who's in charge of your mind and in charge of your psychology. And as you make this into your own thing, as you practice this going forward, you will be more incentivized and more incensed to make big, bold action, even though your mind goes, oh, we're not ready, or oh, it's not safe, or oh, we need to do more thinking. And then as you do that, and as you demonstrate to yourself your ability to do this, and as you demonstrate, as you witness firsthand the success that comes as a result of it, then you'll feel better and better about it, and you'll be able to take even bigger steps and even bigger chances and go for bigger opportunities. Taking this and moving forward with it will transform your life, and it will put you on a track where life is no longer just passing you by, but you are now surfing it like a wave. You are actually unfolding with it. You are moving along with it. You are proactively engaging with your life's purpose. It changes everything. It changes how you feel. It changes the texture of your life. It makes everything way more exciting, and it really grounds you in. It makes you feel like you're in something exciting and worthy of you. So I'm really excited for you to have this. So I want to close out by saying that the mind, its major thing that it does is it wants to delay, right? So it wants to delay and delay and delay. And it does this successfully by convincing you that there is any such thing as later. I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow, et cetera, et cetera. But the reality is that if you're going to shift something like this, then it's either now or not now. It's either now is the time to get on top of this, or you're not doing it now. But if you are ready now, then an opportunity opens now for you to go further into this study and to further reclaim your sovereignty, as we were just describing it. If you want that now, if you're really ready to take control, then I encourage you to head over to my website, where I'm giving away a free PDF trainer where it'll go deeper into these techniques and equip you more to do this. You also have access to a brand new coaching offer where I'm releasing a package, and if you're interested in it, you can get a one-on-one Clarified Action Session where I will help you one-on-one. You can get this for free. I'll help you one-on-one create a map, a strategy moving forward to implement this. So you can learn all about it on the website below. It's open for now. I don't know if I'll be doing this forever. So if you are interested, definitely click over now, and I'll see you there.